We'll start the prayers. Om Bhadram Karneभिः शृणुयाम देवाः Bhadram पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुभागं सस्तनुभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्षोररिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are studying the Mandukya Upanishad, the first chapter, Agama Prakaranam. We have come up to the seventh mantra now. This Upanishad discusses how I can know my real nature of Atma, Turiya Atma, by analyzing the three states of experiences. We all human beings, we all have three states of experiences: waking, dream, and sleep. There is no other text which analyzes the three states in such as Mandukya Upanishad. No other text. It's such a tremendous exercise and analysis by both Gaudapadacharya and Shankaracharya. Once we get into the text, you will see the depth going deeper and deeper and deeper. And then in the last chapter comes the final conclusion of the Upanishads. If you want moksha, look at the world exactly like how would you look at a dream. If your destination is moksha, the Upanishad says that is how you should look at the waking world also. So then what happens if you look at the waking world and the dream world as in the same platform, then it is very easy for us to falsify them as Mithya. Unless and until you reach that stage, you cannot come to Satya Atma. So the methodology which is used is taking the dream state, comparing it with the waking state, do a thorough analysis of both the states, prove that the waking is very similar to dream. Therefore, say that as we take the dream as a mithya, as a false appearance, similarly take the waking also as a false appearance. For any false appearance, you need a adhishthanam. You need a substratum. That substratum is called as Turiya Ma. So the final destination is Adhisthana Atma and Adhyasa Jagrat Swapna Sushuddhi Avastha. So the three avasthas are Adhyasa. That is why in Brahma Sutra, Shankaracharya starts with the Adhyasa Bhashyam. Because Adhyasa is extremely important to understand what is Satyam. Our goal is to reach the ultimate. Don't look at all the intermediate stations. I want to know what is this world. I want to know who am I and what is the connection between the world and me. So the connection between me and the world is Adhisthana Adhyasa Sambandha. This is the final picture. which comes out in the chapter 4 of Mandukya Upanishad. You need to be extremely patient to understand this final truth. Mandukya Upanishad is a very unique Upanishad. It can take you to the highest, and it has got a process, a step-by-step process. And in each of these processes, Shankaracharya and Gaudapadacharya will throw up objections and give answers. Throw up objections, give answers. These objections of Purva Pakshi and the answers given by Siddhantin are very useful for our intellect to become mature. When the mind becomes pure, mature, like we have the Mrityunjaya mantra. Triyambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam uruvarukameva bandhanat prityo mukshir mamrutat. So that, what does it say? Like a cucumber will fall down when it becomes mature. Similarly, the jivatvam in us will fall down when our mind becomes mature. So for reaching that immortal self and to say that I am the pure Atma, I can live forever as the pure Atma, you need to have patience. You need to make your mind purer and pure. This is the gist of Mandukya Upanishad. And in order to understand this gist, the main mantra which is used is the seventh mantra, which we are entering today. And you will have to pay attention to this mantra. This is where we start today. The seventh mantra, the most important mantra of Mandukya Upanishad, and the most important mantra of the entire 12 Upanishads we are studying, because this is a direct revelation of our true self. Anybody who can meditate on this mantra, who can contemplate on this mantra, is sure to attain his real nature. Okay, so let us see how does this mantra go.
नान्तः प्रज्ञं न बहिष्प्रज्ञं नान्तः प्रज्ञं न बहिष्प्रज्ञं नो भयतः प्रज्ञं नो भयतः प्रज्ञं न प्रज्ञानघनं न प्रज्ञानघनं न प्रज्ञं नाप्रज्ञं न प्रज्ञं नाप्रज्ञम् अदृष्टम् अव्यवहार्यम् अदृष्टम् अव्यवहार्यम् अग्राह्यम् अलक्षणम् अग्राह्यम् अलक्षणम् अचिन्त्यम् अव्यपदेश्यम् अचिन्त्यम् अव्यपदेश्यम् एकात्म प्रत्ययसारम् एकात्म प्रत्ययसारम् प्रपञ्चोपशमम् प्रपञ्चोपशमम् शान्तं शिवमद्वैतं शान्तं शिवमद्वैतं चतुर्थं मन्यन्ते चतुर्थं मन्यन्ते स आत्मा स विज्ञेयः स आत्मा स विज्ञेयः.
So what is the central message of this mantra? The message is that we are all conscious beings. Consciousness is our nature. This consciousness appears with objects and sentient beings in the waking state, in the dream state. And this consciousness appears without objects and any beings in the sleep state. Our focus should not be on the world of objects and beings. Our focus should be on the awareness, consciousness principle. This is my real nature. I have to shift the attention of consciousness, which appears with the objects, with the beings, and drop the world and own up consciousness by itself. This is the gist. How do we do this? Is explained in this mantra. This consciousness is not the consciousness which is with the subjective world, not with the objective world, external world. Neither it is the mass of consciousness which is experienced in the sleep state. It is not the unconscious state. These are all the descriptions of how to separate the consciousness from everything else. Then it says it is not seen. It cannot be seen, adrishyam. Adrishyam means it cannot be seen by any sense organ. Avyavaharyam means it is not available for transactions. It cannot be thought by the mind. Achintyam. It cannot be described in words, which we have seen in many Upanishads. But that is my real self. See, Vedanta makes two very important statements. It says, whatever we experience is not me. Statement number one. Whatever we experience, that means drishyam, seen world is not me. That is one statement. Anything which is seen is not me, is not the truth. It is not satya. It is mithya. Statement number one. Statement number two of Vedanta is Atma can never be seen. And that is satya. What cannot be seen at any time, because it happens to be the seer. It happens to be the Atma, the conscious principle, and it can never be seen. You can only know it by claiming I am Atma. So at any time you want to know yourself, who am I? Just say I am Atma. That's all. Aham Atma Asmi in Sanskrit. But you should understand the clear meaning of Atma. This mantra gives you a clarity of this Atma. Many people just sit down and meditation without knowing what is Atma, thinking that by just asking the question, who am I, who am I, who am I, in the meditation, you'll get the answer. You will never get it. There is a teaching behind it. And this mantra is a very, very useful mantra for understanding who am I. At any time you want to explain to anybody in the world this particular question of who am I, if you are able to understand this one mantra, whether you study any other Upanishad or not, this mantra can reveal the truth. So the Anvaya of this is that Turiyam is Turiyam means it is the fourth state, waking, dream, sleep. Chaturtha, fourth state is called as Turiyam. And it is negatively explained and it is positively explained. Negatively explained as not the waking state, not the dream state, not the sleep state. Positively, it is explained as it is Satyam, it is Shivam, it is auspicious, it is Advaitam, non-dual. These are all words, technical words, but they have a lot of packed meanings. As we go by, we will see all those important aspects connected with this. So instead of revealing Turiyam positively, it reveals Turiyam as the three padas themselves. Turiyam is not a fourth pada, but it is the waker itself, dreamer itself, the sleeper itself. What is common in all of them is Turiya. That is what Shankaracharya says about this fourth aspect of fourth pada. He will explain that in the other karikas and all that as we go by. But here, just for your understanding, in the waking state itself, this Turiyam is there. And I should be able to decipher, discriminate Turiyam awareness from the world. In the dream state is also there. In the sleep state also it is there. So Turiyam is different from the three padas. It is different from the three padas. When we say it is different means what? It is transcendental. This word transcendental is very important. Transcendental means Paramarthika Satyam. Turiyam is identified with the incidental bodies. When it is identified with the incidental bodies, then we say it is Vyavaharika Satyam. It is not distinct from the three padas. It is inherent in the three padas. So try to understand Turiyam is both inherent and distinct. Like the waker. Waker, without the waker, there is no dream. So waker is a transcendental portion of the dreamer. But the dream world, the waker is inherent in the dream world because without that, he is the one who provides existence principle to the dream world. So the content of the dream world is the waker only. Similarly, the content of the waking world is this Turiyam consciousness only. Many a time, Shankaracharya will ask you to compare the dream world with the waking. Whatever happens in the dream, he says the same thing happens in the waking. When you understand that waking world also same thing is happening, then you will transcend into the Atma. You cannot experience that transcendental Atma directly, because for experience you require the mind. What you can say is, it is my nature, and then say, that is what I am. So if Turiya is located in the sleep state or in the Samadhi state, then we can say it is a separate state. You can't have it in waking, you can't have it in dream, it is separate. Or you can say, even if it is not in the sleep state, if suppose it is there as a fourth state, separately existing, then the Upanishad could have said it is the fourth pada. Now, this understanding is required. Then Purva Pakshi is going to ask this question. Why do you say it is the fourth pada? Chaturtham Nyante. The fourth is distinct from the other three, Bahihi, Anta, and Ghana Prajnas. Bahi Prajna means external consciousness, external world plus consciousness. Antaha means internal world, dream world, the plus the consciousness. Ghana Prajna means when there is no world, it is only a mass of consciousness. So ultimately, when you have to understand this Turiya Atma, you have to understand it as, I am that pure consciousness. I can remain without the body and the world. Body and world, they are appearing in this consciousness. One consciousness is the Sakshi witness principle. Swami Chinmayananda calls it big I. And the Ahamkara I, which is the waker I, dreamer I, sleeper I, it is the ego I. The content is, the Brahman is the inner Brahman or Turiyam. I'll be using both synonymously. So sometimes if I'm using Brahman, it also means Turiyam. Turiyam is equal to Brahman. Now this Turiyam has got a Shakti. What is that Shakti like? You and I, we have a Shakti to go to sleep. Power. All the beings have got the power to sleep. Animals, they also go to sleep. All beings, it is a product of nature. Tamo Guna, 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It is a guna of Prakriti. Other gunas are sattva and rajas. Rajas wakes you up. Tamas makes you go to sleep. Sattva guna helps you to understand your nature. So this Prakriti consists of the three bodies, the Panchakoshas, and the three avasthas. This is the broad picture of the world. So we have to go beyond this ego I, beyond the Vishwa, Taijasa, Prajna. Vishwa means waker, Taijasa means dreamer, Prajna means sleeper. Take a simple example, gold. One gold is appearing as chain, bangle, and ring. Similarly, one Turiya appears as the Vishwa, Taijasa, and Prajna. When you look at the variable factor, you are not seeing the truth. What is the variable factor? The variable factor is the world. What is the invariable factor? Invariable factor is the consciousness. So this Turiya is no totally different from Vishwa, Taijasa, and Prajna. It is distinct without the superficial superimposing factors. Wakerhood is a superimposition, adhyasa. Dreamerhood is a superimposition. But what is a substratum? Substratum is Atma. At the same time, we cannot say it is totally indifferent from Vishwa Taijasa also. Why? Because without Turiya, there cannot be there cannot be waking, dream, and sleep. So, again and again, try to remember immanent factor and transcendental factor. The nature of Turiya, these two features, if you are able to pick up, then you would have picked up a lot of knowledge which comes in Mandukya Upanishad. Suppose you take a crystal. This example comes in Atma Bodha. Very often, Shankaracharya gives examples of different aspects to explain or to convince us how awareness can be discerned. So take a crystal and suppose you keep a red flower in front of that crystal. Now, the crystal is different from the red flower. But when you keep the red flower, the same crystal, which is pure, appears to be red. It's very easy to understand. Pure crystal has no color. You keep a red flower in front of it and look from the other side. You will see that the crystal looks red. Same thing happens, Shankaracharya says, pure awareness is Turiya. The moment the mind brings out the waking state, mind is the upadhi. For the crystal, red flower was the upadhi. For the pure awareness, Turiyam, Vishwa Taisa Prajna, the world of Vishwa, is the medium. It is the upadhi. Same thing. The one gold appears as the three ring, bangle, and chain. So Turiyam superficially it is different when we look at it from our body stand. When I look at it from my eye, the ego eye, the hankara eye, then I will say I am the waker, I am the dreamer, I am the sleeper, because I am identified with Turiyam, but through the mind. Ultimately, what is the story? Ultimately, Upanishad wants to reveal that this Turiyam exists by itself. Know the truth and claim I am Turiya Atma. You remove the superficial features, arrive at the content. What is the content of a chain? Gold. What is the content of a ring? Gold. What is the content of bangle? Gold. If this is understood, what is the content of the waker? Consciousness. What is the content of dreamer? Consciousness. What is the content of sleeper? Consciousness. Hold on to this, what is invariable, changeless in the three states, and then you will say that it is seemingly the fourth, but it is not the fourth because it is immanent. It is in and through the three states. Bangle, chain, ring essentially are gold. They have no existence apart from the gold. So what is bangle? Nama, Rupa, Kriya. Apply it to world. What is the world? World is essentially consciousness, awareness. Essentially it is awareness. What is what is the word we are used to? We are only used to nama, rupa, kriya. Name, form, action. Suppose you remove the name from a person, you remove the form from a person, and you remove the actions done by the person. Imagine, take any, you remove all three. Nama, Rupa, Kriya. This comes from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. What Upanishad says is what you will be left behind is consciousness. So remove the incidental features from the Jiva, Jagat, and Ishvara. You will arrive at Satya Turiya Atma. What is the nature of this Satya Turiya Atma? Number one, it is Swayam Jyoti. That is the nature. Swayam Jyoti means it is always evident by itself. It does not require any other light. Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, nema vidyatyo bhanti, kutoyo bhantnihi. Remember that verse of Kathopanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, Svetashvatara Upanishad. That mantra says that Atma is the light without with which the entire universe becomes known. So the first quality of Turiyam is Swayam Jyoti. Second quality, Asanga, relationless. It is not touched by anything, unaffected by the world. Whatever happens to the waking world, dream world, sleep world, nothing happens to Turiya Atma. That is why it is eternal. Nithyam, third factor, timeless. So whatever is experienced in time is Mithya. Whatever is timeless is Satya. The fourth feature is Nirvikara Swarupa. Nirvikara means it is changeless. The six modifications which are happening in the body, asti, jayate, vardate, viparinamate, vinashyati, all these modifications are not there for Atma. Therefore, it is birthless, it is deathless. If it is birthless, it will be deathless and it will be eternal. Today, our meditation is on this aspect of Atma being birthless. Bhagavad Gita, the 20th verse, talks about Najayate mriyate va kadachit. We will be doing the meditation today. So these are the features of Turiya Atma. The content of the universe is awareness, Satchidananda Turiyam. The same content is also called as Brahman. It is also called as Bhuma. Brahman is used in Taittiriya Upanishad. Bhuma is used in Chandogya Upanishad, 7th chapter. Uttama Purusha and Kshetrajna, as you all very well know, chapter 15 of Bhagavad Gita talks about Uttama Purusha. That is the same thing as Turiya. Kshetrajna, 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, same Turiya. I want you to link, I'm sure all of you have studied different Upanishads before. You've also studied Bhagavad Gita. You must be able to link when we study Mandukya Upanishad. When you take up a topic, try to bring to your mind the different mantras or which you can remember of other things which you have studied. This way you can connect all the different teachings to one teaching of Turiya. So the world minus all the inferior features of a jiva or the superior features of Ishvara is Turiya. How does the Vedanta divide the world? Jiva and Ishvara. Jiva is the individual body. The total body is Ishvara's body. That's all. The whole world is there in these two only. So you remove the inferior and the superior features. What you get is Turiya. Neti neti is a principle used to get to the remainder. What is the remainder? It is the inherent and transcendental art. So gold is not totally different. It is not totally identical with bangle. Thurium is not totally different than the Vekar. It is not totally identical with the Vekar. Our intellect has the capacity to focus on either of them. You can focus on Vekar with reference to all the transactions which we are doing. Or you can focus on the content of the Vekar, which is Turiya. So you don't have to go to Samadhi. You don't have to go to the sleep state in order to identify Turiya Atma. Initially, I keep on repeating to you that you go to the sleep state. Who are you in the sleep state? You are Turiya. That's what I always say in my course. That is before you come to Mandukya. In Mandukya is teaching us in the baker itself, train your mind to look at the gold, not at the ornament. Look at the Turiya content, baker, the awareness principle, not the superficial features of the gross body, subtle body, causal body. You drop all the three bodies, you drop all the three avasthas, you drop all the pancha koshas. See, now it is easy for you to understand Taittiriya Upanishad. When you study Mandukya, you can understand all Upanishads very easily because you are going very deep right at the beginning. Taittiriya Upanishad says drop the five koshas. Whatever is the content in the five koshas is Turiyatma. There it is called as Brahman. So we have to transfer identifications from the three conditions of the mind. Mind is what becomes extrovert, mind becomes introvert, mind becomes passive. So we have to understand our mind perfectly well, see the condition of the mind, and then understand Turiya Atma. See, this is so subtle. The teaching is very subtle. If your mind is pure, you can pick it up like a camphor being lighted by fire. Immediately it will catch fire. Otherwise, it will take time. Brahman plus Adhyasa is equal to Jiva Jagat Ishvara. Brahman plus Adhyasa is a waker, dreamer, sleeper. Brahman plus Adhyasa is equal to the five koshas, the three avasthas, the three shariras. You can see Adhyasa is so important. Adhyasa means it is a superimposition. It's wrongly construed by us. Adhyasa means it is a misconception. I have a misconception that I am the born body. Nobody doubts that there is a body which is born. It is an appearance. Nobody. Vedanta doesn't say the body is not born. Body is born. It is a fact. But it is Mithya. It is a part of the anatma prapancha. It is not consciousness. So once you drop the adhyasa, you can claim your swarupam very easily. Claiming the swarupam is moksha. Pure awareness is myself. From today onwards, if you can claim I am the pure awareness, you'll be jumping with joy. Upanishad has told me this. I have full faith, Shraddha in the Upanishad. I don't need anybody else to come and say that I am not this, because that I believe 100%. What about the jiva which is living? Oh, that is incidental. It will go, it'll appear, disappear. Every day it appears in the waking state, disappears in the sleep state. Again, it'll appear, it disappears. This has been going on for ages, time immemorial. Because bodies are born again and again. Mandukya Upanishad tells you what you are trying to reach through Mandukya Upanishad as Turiya Atma is timeless. If you learn to remove the attributes and hold on to the leftover consciousness as the Turiya Atma, you have reached the destination. That is called as Turiyam Brahma. Aitareya Upanishad, if you look at this definition of consciousness in Aitareya Upanishad, which is called as Prajnanam Brahma, third chapter, first section, third one. How does consciousness get defined there? This is Brahman, this is Indra, this is Prajapati. Prajapati means the creator. This consciousness is the content of all the gods. It is the content of all the five elements. It is the content of small creatures, big creatures. It is the content of egg-born, womb-born, sweat-born beings. It is the content of all the trees. Both moving and not moving. Objects and inert objects plus sentient beings. It is the content. All these are guided by consciousness, supported by consciousness. Try to understand these two words. Guided by consciousness means the chit aspect. Supported by consciousness shows the existence aspect. Consciousness is the basis for the entire creation. Therefore, Upanishad declares Prajnanam Brahma. The last word, two words, Prajnanam Brahma. This is a Mahavakya. This consciousness in me, the individual body, is the same consciousness in the entire cosmos. That is the truth. Now, it may take time for us to grasp this ultimate teaching. This is a giant step for an intellect. It's a huge leap. But then we are in the track. Once we go through the step-by-step process of Shankaracharya's revelation of this truth in Mandukya Upanishad, you will not go wrong. It is a subjective science. It has to be taught through the Upanishads only. There is no other source of knowledge for Turiya Atma. Turiya Atma is different because it is transcendent. Turiya Atma is non-different because it is immanent. Non-different means what? Non-different from the waker, dreamer, sleeper, and the whole cosmos. It is different from the whole cosmos because it can stand by itself. That is why we get moksha. Suppose you look at only the immanent nature, there is no moksha because you are always with Turiya. You can never separate the two. Upanishad makes it very clear. Satyam means it must stand independently. Stand independently means what? Without any connection with the world. This aspect may be difficult for you for initially. Once you go through these karikas, these explanations by Shankaracharya, it become very easy. Okay. So this is the gist of the seventh month. Now, Shankaracharya starts his bhashya with a doubt. What is the doubt? He says, in the beginning of the Upanishad, we said there are 4 quarters for Atma. Then it said the 3 quarters are waking, dream, sleep, which means the consciousness connected with the external, internal, and with no world. By the law of exclusion, it means it is the fourth. When you have said it is not the 3 padas, it is not the waker, dreamer, and sleeper. It has to be the fourth only. Why are you getting confused and saying that fourth is not, Turiya it is not the fourth, it is in and through the 3. This is the question of Purva Bakshi. So Shankaracharya starts with a Purva Bakshi. The simple answer to this is Purva Bakshi has not understood the transcendental principle. He has understood only the immanent principle. So Purva Bakshi says mantra is wrong. Mantra is redundant. Atma has 4 padas. The 4 padas are Bahi Prajna, Anta Prajna, Ghana Prajna. Why do we say neti neti for this? Why do we have to say it is not the first pada, not the second pada, not the third pada? He gives an example. Purva Pakshi gives an example. Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna. Instead of saying Shatrugna is the fourth, you are saying he is not Rama, he is not Lakshmana, he is not Bharata. Why do you say this? Why do you need neti neti to reveal Shatrugna? That is the question. Good question, but I already gave you the answer. Turiyam is already unknown. Why same not as the first, second, and the third part? Punarukti dosha. See, punarukti dosha means uh, you are repeating something which is not required. After presenting the 4 quarters, padatraya kathame iva anyatam siddham. Fourth is known by the law of exclusion. Therefore, the mantra is redundant. And why you want to talk so much about this mantra is the Purvapakshi. What is already established, you are re-establishing. You just say it is not Antaprajnam, it is the fourth pada. That you don't say it is not this, not this, not this. That is the only thing Purvapakshi is interested. Very subtle question. A very subtle answer is it is clearly understood that you don't need to sit in meditation to realize Turiya. Understand the importance of this bhashyam, then you will realize that meditation is not required, only understanding is required. What he wants to convey is Turiyam is already available in the Bahish Prajna, Anta Prajna. It is already there in the week. You don't require to realize a new thing. We have to only drop our misconception that I am the way. What I have to do, I have to close my eyes and just say, I am. Don't even say Turiyam. Turiyam is understood. If you add anything to this, I am, it is anatma. This is what Shankaracharya is saying. Don't add adjectives. I am a male, I am a female. That belongs to the body, not you, the awareness. Awareness is not connected with the body at all. I just told you Asanga, the four features, don't forget throughout Mandukya Upanishad. Nityatvam, Nirvikaratvam, Asangatvam, and Satyatvam. Don't forget these four features. It can independently exist. It is Satyam. It is Nityam because it is eternal. It is Nirvikara Sarupa. It is changeless. No modification. All the time, if you keep this at the background, you can understand the flow of Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya says, Upadesha Sastri is also written by Shankaracharya. It's a very beautiful text, but it takes a lot. Upadesha Sahasri means 1,000 teachings of Vedanta. There, Tattvamasi Prakaranam is there. There is a chapter. I am Turiyam is already self-evident, Swayam Jyoti, Swaprakasha I. It is ever evident I in all the three states. So this aspect of ever evident I is not understood by the Puravaksha. So Shankaracharya is trying to explain to him. You just have to remove the superimposed aspect, then you will come to your real nature. Such a simple ways, beautiful way Shankaracharya is explaining here. You remove I am a male, I am a female, I am rich, I am poor, I am born, I am having so many problems. Remove all that. Problems belong to the mind. Mind goes to sleep. In sleep state, there is no I. Ego is gone. So who am I? I am the pure awareness, Turiya Atma. Today's talk, if you have been able to understand, you have got the entire gist of Mandukya. This one talk is enough to reach the innermost self. Okay, that is the power of Shankaracharya's commentary. Just as the mistake, next part of the commentary is, just as the mistaken snake is understood really as rope, same waker, dreamer, sleeper is really understood as Turiya Atma. Therefore, Tattvamasi is being taught by Chandogya Upanishad, where you don't reveal anything new. You're only correcting the mistake of understanding who you are. Exclude the body, mind, sense from the I, you will reach the Turi. See how beautifully he explains Shankaracharya to the Purvapakshi. See, this is his style. He invents a question and he himself gives an answer. Again, he will himself, this is the style followed in every Upanishad. Prashna Upanishad is a great Upanishad. I won't diverse every time. It is a very, very similar, it's got a very similar connection with Mandukya. I'm writing a commentary on Shankara Bashyam on Prashna Upanishad. It will take another 2, 3 months to finish. But once it is finished, I'll tell you, you read that commentary, you will understand Mandukya much, much better. Okay. So first we say gold is, then we talk about bangle chain ring. So by the power of discrimination in your own intellect, you have to separate the fragrance from the flower, the oil from the sesame seeds, the fire from the wood. What is covering the fire? Wood. What is covering the oil? Sesame seed. What is being covered by what is covering the fragrance? The flower. Similarly, ghee or butter. What is covering it? The milk. Sugar comes from sugar cane. Gold, what covers the gold? Ornaments. What covers this body? The supreme divine Turiya. What is covering the Turiyam? The three avasthas. Okay. These are all very, very subtle way in which Shankaracharya conveys the truth. Turiyam is nothing but it is waking Vishwa, Taijasa, Prajna, does not have wakerness, dreamness, sleepness. When you say it doesn't have, you're talking about the transcendental portion. When you say it is the waker itself, you're talking about the immanent. Atma, which obtains in Turiyam, is now available as the waker. So right now, you and I are listening. You are listening, I'm speaking. Now, right now, it is available. As what? I drop my listenerhood. I drop my speakerhood. Who am I? I am Turiyam. Content of this Vishwa Taijasa is Turiyam. Content of the chain ring bangle is gold. If they have understood this, you have see again and again Shankaracharya will drill this point till our mind is able to understand and grasp this subtle truth of awareness. So what Shankaracharya says is Upanishad wants to say that people think it is the fourth state. Chaturtham manyante. That is what the Upanishadic statement is in the seventh mantra. It is a misconception by the people of saying it is the fourth state. Upanishad wants to convey that it is not the fourth state, it is in and through the three states. Suppose you say it is the fourth state, everybody will be looking at, oh, there is some there. I have to drop my waking state, I have to go to sleep state, and then I have to look for that Atma. After I go to sleep state, I have to go and find that Atma. No. Here it says, in the waking state, drop your superficial features and know that you are Turiyam. Turiyam is identical, Turiyam is different. So now you are able to understand what is Bahish Prajna, Anta Prajna, because of this depth of clarity which Shankaracharya gives. So the limiting factors belong to the Upadhi. Upadhi means it is a covering, like the red flower for the crystal. Waking state, the gross body, subtle body, the causal body, they are all coverings. For example, your punya papa, that is the causal body. Because of punya papa only, this body comes into play. This subtle body comes in, the gross body comes in. We have seen in the sixth mantra. What is the cause of the subtle body and gross body? The first pada and second pada, what is these are all the products. These are the karya. The cause is the sleep state. Rope is seen as snake. It can be seen as a mala. Mala means necklace. Or it can be seen as a pipe. Suppose these are all the four mistakes which can happen, or it can be seen as a crack on the earth. Try to remember this. These are the four things a rope can be mistaken as. Shankaracharya uses these four things about 20 times in his whole Bashyam of 225 mantras. He compares this mistake of a ropes to these four and says the Atma is mistaken as the waker, dreamer, and sleep. That is the essence behind this example. Teacher can't reveal rope as the fifth entity. He cannot say that it is not the crack on earth, it is not this. But what he has to do is he has to show the same place where the snake is, where the crack on the earth is, or where the pipe is, and says this is the rope. So teacher has to say to the student, you are that. You are Tattvamasi becomes very important now. Tattvamasi, you are Atma. When the teacher says, the student has to straight away absorb the truth. Here and now itself, the baker is Turiya. Don't look outside for Turiya and try to objectify it separate from you. What you're seeing, the rope snake itself is the rope. What you're seeing, the pipe itself is the rope. What you're seeing as the crack on earth itself is the rope. What you're seeing, the waker, dreamer, sleeper, your own experiences which you have been having is nothing but the content is through you. Without the content, there is no waker, no dreamer, no sleeper. All four are mistakes. What is Satyam? Rope is Satyam, Turiyam is Satyam. By knowing and claiming this Turiyam is the only way I can reach the truth of the world. Never try to know this Turiyam as an object. The I which I see, Aham, it includes two parts. One is the body, mind, thoughts, and the reflection of the consciousness. And then there is an independently existing consciousness. So in the meditation, what we have to ultimately do is drop all the incidental features, hold on to Aham Atma Asmi. I am the Atma. Shanai Shanai Rupa Ramet Buddhya Dhriti Grihitayaha Atma Samstam Manakritva Nakinchidapi Chintayet. Sixth chapter, 25th mantra. Shanai Shanai Rupa. That means little by little, slowly attain this quietude in your own mind. This quiet, the ultimate peace exists within you. Don't try to look outside for it. Yatho yatho nischarati manaschanchalamastiram tatastatho niyam yaitad atmanyeva vasham naye. Whatever is the restlessness of the unsteady mind, restrain it, control it. By what? By this Atma only. Again and again say, I am the Atma, I am the Atma. I am not the anatma thoughts, I am not the other incidental things which keep coming and going. So exclude the prapancha or the bodies from consciousness and hold on to consciousness is the teaching. Now, this is a revision portion. a lot of it will be repeated of what I have said till now. You can use it for your when you study the notes. If I have not stressed on anything, I will point it out to you. The seventh mantra is not a revealing mantra, but it is a correcting mantra. You already know that you are the shariram oriented with waker, dreamer, and sleeper. What you don't know is this Atma. So understanding this Atma correctly is the purpose of this seventh. Thurium status is claimed by displacing Vishwa Taijasa Prajna status from the I. See, the Mandukya Upanishad is such a beautiful, the way they have constructed this Upanishad is the I which I am experiencing, they take it as the entire waking state. They take it as the entire dream state. I as the entire sleep state. And that I, they try to break it into two parts. They take the changeless portion as Turiya, and they ask you to drop these other statuses, wakerhood, dreamerhood, which is all incident. It's a very, very deep science. Correction alone is done, there is no new revelation. So in meditation, don't look for exotic experiences. Some people say, I saw so many lights in meditation. Green light, blue light. This light came from somewhere in front of me and then disappeared. Is that Turiya? No. These are all your imaginations. Understanding Turiya Atma is the right understanding for meditation. Drop the snake from the rope snake and see the rope. Drop the waker hood from the waker and see the Turiya. Okay. What you think as the rope, snake is the rope. So it's a correction statement. It is not a revelation statement. Okay. Waker, dreamer, sleeper. You drop the experienced world connected with them. And whatever is the remainder, it is not Shunyam. You see, it is the Adhishthana. It is the substratum. Correcting mantra and not a revealing mantra, that is the gist of this first commentary of Shankaracharya. So all this I have already explained. Like this, what are the different other examples of Adhishtanam? Other examples are rope and rope snake, Turiyam and Vishwa, sand and mirage water. Then you have the post and the ghost or post and man. These are all other examples. What you're thinking now as the jiva is itself the Turiya Atma. That is why we say that jiva realizes its own nature as Turiya Atma. This negation is done of the wrong status. That substance is Turiya. Tattvamasi corrects the mistake. How does it correct the mistake? Then the jiva understands that I am not the body which is born. I am the consciousness which is eternally there. See, once you follow this teaching, you will at some time understand and your intellect will accept it. In the class, it's very easy to understand because you're completely focused and you can clearly see how the Upanishad and Shankaracharya explain to you, I am the awareness, I am the awareness. He's telling us repeatedly. And once we get this in our own intellect, that is why Shravanam is there, listening to the scriptures. The second stage is Mananam. Many people do only Shravanam. They never do Mananam. Mananam is the stirring of the sugar inside the coffee. Shimananda gives this example. If you have not stirred it, the coffee which you are drinking will not be sweet. So you have to stir the Shravanam portion and then you will be able to drink the essence, the essence of the Upanishads. Jiva Bhava is replaced by Brahma Bhava. Brahman is not something very big and something very far away. It is there in me. Waker, dreamer, sleeper bhava is the jiva bhava. And what gets replaced? It is Turiya bhava. So this is the Sankshepa Vakyam. Sankshepa Vakyam means it is a simple, condensed sentence which explains the essence of Turiya. Then Shankaracharya said, it will be explained later. Don't worry. I'm going to explain this much more in detail. In the next one, I'll just introduce this and then I will stop. Here, Shankaracharya says, Turiya Atma is not a distinct entity. Therefore, the Shastra is not redundant. If the Shastra is redundant, then you will be concluding that there is Shunyam. That is what he said. When I drop this I, wakerhood, dreamerhood, sleeperhood, as attributes of the mind and ahamkara, where will you ultimately drop? You will drop it to Shunyam instead of Sakshi Turiya. The I, aham, which I'm telling you, which I use again and again, it has got two parts. Ahamkara portion, Sakshi portion. Sakshi is the reality. Ahamkara is my waker, dreamer, sleeper, is the Triputi. It is also Turiyam. So Turiyam is free from Triputi. Turiyam is also with. Okay, I will stop here. I will start with this 668 slide next week. And see, this commentary of Shankaracharya is brilliant. It takes time, but we have to be patient to really go through it slowly and understand it. Okay. Oh, Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnahat, Purnamudachare, Purnasya, Purnamadhaya, Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Okay. Is there any other question or anything, any remark, anything on today's talk?
Yeah, Shekharji, one question from my side.
Yeah.
This was regarding the there is at one place you said if you are able to understand this, then there is no requirement for meditation.
Correct.
Yeah. So my question is, contemplating or thinking about it time and again, only then we can realize Turiya, right? It is not that we will get it right away just by hearing. So that mananam or contemplation uh, is required, and that is what we say. We can call it meditation also, because the mind is kind of constantly thinking.
Correct.
So meditation is required, isn't it?
See, it depends on what level of your mind, with what level of your mind you're listening to the talk. For majority of us, what you're telling is the truth. What you're saying, yes, contemplation is required, but what the teachers tell us is in the class, in the session itself, when you're listening to the talk itself, your mind will go to that Turiya Atma and you will know it. To remember that, to hold on, to have conviction of that Atma, that is my nature. For that, you need contemplation and nididhyasana. Shravanam itself will give you the knowledge of who you are. But holding on uh, to that knowledge that this is Atma. That means I am not the waker, dreamer, sleeper. Out of that, the content in all these three is the consciousness. So both the statements are right. One statement, see, it comes from Brihadaneka Upanishad, which says you should not only hear what the Shruti is saying, you should also contemplate and you should do nididhyasana. Shravanam, Mananam, nididhyasana is a standard process. It is common to all of us. Now, some people, they may say that I have understood Atma. While listening to you itself, it's very clear. I don't need anything else. I don't need to sit in meditation and say. So what Upanishad says is what Shankaracharya says in his commentary is the knowledge of Atma is possible while listening itself. Am I clear?
Yeah, I get it. But if I understood it, by hearing, during hearing, we actually tend to develop a theoretical knowledge about it. But it is not the practical experience, what you said. The practical experience is only through contemplation. At some point of time, it suddenly illuminates or something like that. That is what I feel would be happening, because the self has to reveal itself. So it's just like Ishwar Darshanam. So if you are contemplating on Ishwara, at some point of time, you are able to see him or witness him or something like that. So I believe this is a similar experience, or would be a similar experience.
Uh, it's true. What you're saying is true, but it is not always true. See,
Okay.
I'm saying for a pure mind, mananam is enough. Shravanam is enough.
Mm.
You see, if you have a mind which is restless, which is wandering, for them you require contemplation, you require nididhyasana, all that is. There are some students who come to the class and say, I'm ready. You teach me, I am keeping my mind completely open. I have nothing inside my mind. All the thoughts about myself, I have removed it. Now you tell me who I am. And then the teacher says, you are that Turiya. For those people, the statement which Shankaracharya makes is true. For a purified mind, Shravanam itself is enough. For majority of us who are not, who do not have that purity of mind, who have the wandering nature of mind, for the majority of us, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasnam is required. Okay. So, Ramesh, I
Thank
think
you.
you got the answer.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else has any other question? Yeah, Shama, go ahead.
Hari Om Shekharji.
Yeah, tell me.
So just really, if I've understood correctly, and I'll come back to the point which was just being discussed. Or let me finish with that. The point as the discussion was going on about, if we understand, and we are quite clear, and we are absolutely happy to accept the Turiyam Atma state, then probably nothing else is needed. But I think quite contrary. I think for a very long time, because it is almost like if we've lived in a foreign land, in a foreign Vesha for a very, very long time. This is about homecoming, isn't it? Or the samskaras and the subconscious impressions, they are actually they have also become part of us. And to say, oh, it's gone, I'm walking in light, it just would not happen. I know for myself that I will need a constant kind of mananam to carry on, holding on to this truth till it becomes my real nature. So then there is no competing interest. But until that time, I know I have to work quite hard on it. So that was one point on just what we already said. The other thing which I just wanted to say, so the take home from today's class, all the experiences which I get in my Traya Avastha, Traya Sharira, which is in the matter of space and time, is changing scenes, whilst I know I have remained the same in continuity, the changeless, the supreme consciousness, the continuous existent reality, Satyam Nityam. So this is really to hold on to that truth that all that I'm experiencing is not me. The changeless within that whole spectrum is me. And you've said, drop the wakerhood. So today what I've learned is the correction statement. I have corrected, you've asked us to correct the wrong
Wrong notion.
notion. So it's not a revelation, but the whole knowledge is a revelation. It's new. It's a new knowledge, isn't it? So in that it is revelation.
It is illuminating something which I didn't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm. So it's in some ways a revelation.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, no, it's wonderful. Thank you
Very
so
good.
much.
I'm glad both these points you brought up is all both, and excellent understanding of the message, and it's very good. I mean, I'm glad that most of you are able to grasp this teaching. In Shankaracharya's Bashyam is not easy to understand, and as we go by, you will see more depth coming in the discussions. Okay, Shanta, you have a question?
Yes, Namaste, Sekharji. First of all, I also had a comment about, Ramesh ji's concept, and I think probably I'm at his side where I do feel that um, I'm not saying that you have to follow this mananam or whatever, but even through Shravanam, there has to be a point of that click, the eureka moment. And I feel that without that eureka moment, to hold on to that thought that uh, you're a Brahman or a Turyam, it it is very much a bookish knowledge or theoretical knowledge, as Rameshji said, and I completely agree. Because even, I mean, I've just my own experience, when I was learning Bhagavad Gita, and there were a lot of times Shekharji has said that, you're a reflected consciousness. And I kept thinking, what the hell is this? And I was listening and continuously listening, but I did not do mananam on it, or, I was thinking, how can it be? But that example, which I keep telling again and again, is that, the sun in the pot of water, that just clicked. in that moment for me. And now it's like so clear, I can never forget, or I don't even have to. It's like learning to cycle. Once you know it, you know it. You don't have to, you will never forget it. So that's sort of a feeling. And therefore, I feel that, yes, maybe through Shravanam, we are going to come to that clicking point or that eureka moment, which can then make us Turiya. And maybe we may not need Mananam and, sorry, and Niditasanam. So that is what I feel. If only Shravanam can also give you a path to moksha, or to, the Turiyam concept. So that's what I feel. I don't know. Um, it,
No,
that's my
once
personal
again, I
experience.
repeat to all of you, 99.9% of the seekers will require Mananam and Nidhyasana.
Yeah.
99.9. It's very, very, it's one in a million, it's who will come and say, yes, sir, Shravanam is enough for me.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
so all of you are right. And Ramesh is right. Ramesh is right. Vijay, Shama is right. You are right. All three of you are right in saying Shravanam, Mananam, Nidhyasana. That's what I've also been teaching in all the Upanishads.
Mm.
So this is a standard methodology which is taught in all the sessions, where a student will come and listen, he will contemplate, and then he will get the knowledge. Like I told you, that unless until you stir up the sugar in the coffee, the
Mm.
stirring up the sugar is manana.
Yeah. And I think that comes automatically because when you have listened again and again, your mind consciously or subconsciously is churning it,
Correct.
and therefore probably that is happening. Okay. Now coming to my question. Uh, Now, when we mentioned, I was just trying to understand today's talk. We of course we started with these four padas, that is where the first and second and third were waking, dream, and sleep. And at that moment, we thought the fourth pada was Turiyam. But today we are actually relearning or doing a correction, where we say there is no fourth pada because Turiyam exists in all the three states. So now my meaning, and I mean, towards the end, when you said that when you drop the waking, the dream, and the sleep state, you cannot land on shunya because uh, every state has got something more than the waking, something more than the dream, something more than the sleep. So when you drop the three states, that something more which is there, which we say consciousness or Turiyam, will be alone remaining. Uh, Is that a right takeaway from today's lecture?
Absolutely right. You're right. That is exactly what the message is. It's saying that in waking itself, you try to understand there is a Turiya. Don't
Mm,
try to go in the waking state, go to the dream state or theorem, because you are still in the waking state. You're only
mm,
trying to imagine that you are in a dream or imagine you are in the sleep state. These are all imaginations in the waking. What
mm,
Shankaracharya says is just get the knowledge that the knowledge is in this Turiyam. Okay, what you said is correct. Normally, a student who learns about the four quarters, that is how the Upanishad starts for a junior student.
mm,
It never tells you, only in the seventh mantra, it gives you the final Apavada portion. See,
mm,
Adhyaropa in the beginning is waking state is this, dream state is this, sleep state is this, because the student is not ready to drop all this.
mm,
The same thing repeatedly Shankaracharya says, even in the fourth chapter. He says, why is creation and waking state, dream state, sleep state, why is it being discussed when ultimately we have to drop all that?
mm,
Shankaracharya says very clearly there, and he says, student is not ready. He is not ready to drop everything at this stage and say that I will hold on to only the fourth stage. It is not
mm,
possible. So the Upanishad starts with where the student is. He
mm,
knows the waking state, he knows his dream state, he knows his sleep state. So the Upanishad says these three states, try to understand what they are.
Mhm. So it's
Then,
going from known to unknown.
correct. From known, you go to unknown. Known means adhyaropa state.
They're opposite.
Anytime you're talking about, at any time, even when you're contemplation, when you are talking about your waking experiences, it is all adhyaropa.
Mhm.
Whenever you're taking the seventh mantra, na antaprajnam, na bahishprajnam, no bhaya prajnam, that means you are doing neti neti.
Mhm.
So at the Apavada stage, only we try to do, this is the methodology of the Upanishad. When you want to reach moksha state, when you want to reach the Turiyam state, this is the methodology which is followed.
So, the example which you mentioned during the talk, I just felt that that was quite sort of, connected me to is the flower, the fragrance in the flower, right?
Correct.
So, when we look at, say, for example, a rose, we get the fragrance. We don't know what is generating that fragrance. We might think it's the petal, it might be the plant itself, whatever it is. We are
Yeah,
assuming various things but we know that when we smell, there is a fragrance. But when that rose dries out and the petals dry out, there is no fragrance in them.
correct.
So, what was that then? If we were talking that the fragrance is coming because of the petals, then it should have remained, even if the flower, because we have got the petals, it should have still remained. But something is not there now when the flower dries. So so I was trying to think that is that Turiam which you cannot see, but you can feel, it's there. Is that the way I can? I mean, I'm just trying to do some mananam
See,
as you were talking.
uh,
So,
the main thing you should connect here is people miss the fragrance and they just keep admiring the flower, red color, this, and they don't admire the fragrance. The teaching here is
mm,
you don't admire the consciousness in you. You only say that she's a beautiful person, she's got these characteristics. Nobody understands the Turiya. That is what is the lesson from this example.
okay,
That's
okay,
all. You don't go beyond that.
okay. No, because I was trying to
But
see that
yeah,
something which is not known, which
no.
we
See,
ignore,
if you want
or
to
rather we.
extend that further, you can what
Mm,
see you if you want to extend further to that
mm,
example, the flower, ultimately, what do you say? You say it is not. Flower is not there.
mm,
Isness
mm,
is still there. Is means existence principle.
mm.
Existence
Okay.
principle deny. You can never negate anything of existence from the world.
Mm. So
Is
then we
not
can
there.
say fragrance also is no longer there.
Fragrance also, ultimately fragrance, but isness is there. Isness you cannot negate. Isness is the consciousness.
Mhm,
Isness is the existence principle, which is the ultimate. Without which there is
mm,
nothing. There's no fragrance, there's no flower, no petals,
mm.
nothing, nothing, nothing. So
Okay.
ultimately, what do you say? Atma is everything.
Yeah, I'll do mananam on this to get
Fair enough.
myself a bit
But
more ordered.
the example Shankaracharya gave is only a limited example. No need to extend the example.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Vijaya, you wanted to say something?
Hari Om Shekharji. I think fantastic verse. Yeah, even I couldn't hear. I think problem. I have to check it's a recording issue or it's maybe the embossing of that recording uh, on the
But I
shlokas.
could
I'm not
hear, I
sure.
could hear, I could hear when I was
Uh,
playing that verse, I could hear it
uh,
very clearly.
no, both the verses were not heard. I think, but that's not the issue at all yet.
Yeah.
I think the fantastic session. I was looking forward to this session. So, I mean, there was many beautiful thoughts and comments, but I can only say one thing is, when The whole purpose of we doing the Mandukya, for that matter, Bhagavad Gita, or any all Prasthanatrayas as we call them, is very simply to understand that we are not the Jiva, the Brahman. Now, what is that actually equates to me is, as a Jiva, I suffer, and as a Brahman, I am Satyam, I am Nityam, I am Nirvikara, I am and a Nisanga. That means I am not attached, hence none of this world bothers me. So any problems that I get and it bothers me at the level of body or mind or intellect reminds me that I have not waken up to the aspect of the Brahman, I'm still the Jiva. That would be my litmus test. How much of Shravanam has not got into Mananam? And every Upanishad session that I attend is only that I fall from my Mananam and I get that, the reaffirmation statement again and again in every session of yours. So that every time I suffer, I should never feel that I am suffering. And I'm not saddened. I am not distressed because I am not the Atman. All these problems are to my body, mind, intellect. That goes a long way. That goes a very, very long way. That could be only litmus test for which I do the Shravanam. And Nididhyasanam obviously is to bring the knowledge that I've heard from the Shravanam and which I've absorbed through Mananam when the episode comes in the front of me in my life, which presents every moment. If I'm able to apply that Shravanam, which I have done the Mananam, apply that moment of time and hold on to my reaction, hold on to my response, hold on to my action, hold on to me feeling desperately suffering. I think that is where I can pat my back and say, yes, Nididhyasanam I have done. But that has not yet happened, so I think I'm going to continue doing it. I have, this is what I think, I am not sure who Ramesh she was actually asking, and that is what I have had many years ago, and I have remembered discussing this with you. And this is
Yeah.
what I thought I'll share today in the session,
Mhm.
which I got an answer from you, and I'm applying it. I think the other thing what Shanta said was Shantaji said rather was the fragrance is gone. So when the flower is dried, no, the fragrance is actually not gone anywhere. Materialistically, I can still say that I use the dried roses to make a rose bud tea or rose flower tea, and the tamarind which I use here as a Tamilian, it has its own tanginess. So nothing is gone anywhere. Brahman is everywhere. But the problem is when the flower is dead, the reaction that I have is, oh my God, this flower is no more there, and it has lost its liveliness. It's lost its beauty, it's lost its fragrance. That is the effect I get when that dies. So a person who's experiencing the life in the rose, a person who's experiencing the lifelessness in the rose, to understand that the underlying reason for the life, the rose to be the one erstwhile and now, is the sentiency, is the existence, that is the easiness, that is always there, that has not gone anywhere. But this being a part and parcel of Maya, it has to go. It is Jara Maranam, right? I think that is
Yeah.
what I understand from her question. Thank you. Very fantastic session, Shekharji. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vijaya. It's a very good commentary which you have given. Uh, just one thing I want to add to what you said is, in and through all our experiences of joy and sorrow, there is the Atma. Don't forget there is Atma also. In it is also a part and parcel of our experiences. The waker also has Atma. Dreamer also has Atma. The sleeper also has Atma. So sometimes we try to separate that Atma and try to see it alone. That, initially it's okay. Initially, we say you discriminate, you see what is real, unreal. You try to see it in that, try to discriminate your mind. But in Mandukya, when you come to the seventh mantra, Shankaracharya makes a total difference to your old thinking. He says, wherever you are, Atma is there. Because your Atma is eternal. It is eternal means it is always there. Whether it is today, tomorrow, but body may not be there. Body is gone. Okay, body I experienced today, then that appearance went away, right? the appearance of the body in the waking state goes away in the sleep state. But you're there. Try to get this point very clearly. I, the Atma, am continuously there. But the appearance of that body, when the body is there, you have all the worldly experiences, you have the worldly relationships, you have the worldly, through the body and the sense organs and the mind, you're interacting and you think that the world which I am experiencing as a waker is it's really there. But what Shankaracharya is trying to say is Atma is eternal. Experiences are coming and going. Don't let that experiences come and go, appear and disappear. Exactly like your dream experiences came and went. Last night there was a big dream, but then the moment I woke up, the dream went away. Similarly, when you wake up to a higher knowledge of Turiya Atma as described in the Upanishads by Shankaracharya and Gaudapadacharya, try to slowly understand, go deeper and deeper and try to understand. You will get to a point and say, I am always Turiya Atma, but my experiences are coming and going. That experience belongs to the body. It does not belong to the Atma. Okay. There was somebody who had raised the hand.
Yeah, it was me, Shekharji.
Yeah, Ramesh.
Hariom.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
in fact, it looked like Vijayaji answered that question along with you. It was regarding that fragrance of the flower. My thought process was that when it withers away, it is just like once the dead body is there, there is no functioning of it. So all the functions are gone. Similarly, when the flower dies, withers away, the fragrance also is gone. That is what my understanding was. When you say wither away, that means it's totally, the life is totally gone. And that is why the ability to function, that is provide fragrance, is gone along with it. Just a thought on that. Maybe not sure if it is correct or not, but that is my maybe understanding of it.
That's correct. See, what you're saying is correct. But you don't extend that example too much. Leave it of understanding. Yes, don't extend it because the moment you extend it beyond a certain level, you will get into a problem. And then only you have to come back to the same Satchidananda principle. You have to say that flower is known to me. Flower is known to me. It is existent. That existent in the flower, the knowingness of the flower belongs to me, the Atma. When the flower was existent, when the flower was fragrant, it was known to me, the Atma. Flower is an object of this consciousness. Flower is not consciousness. Flower is an object of consciousness. Fragrance is an object of consciousness. Those are anatma. Anatma, the nature of anatma is change. It will wither away. Body will change. Mind will change. Flower will change. It will wither away. Anatma world will wither away. Atma never withers. It is always. You have to come to this level of understanding if you're going into a deeper aspect.
Yeah. Yes, got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. I mean, this class is really extending quite a lot in terms of understanding, but very good. I'm appreciating all the cross communications between. I think Shama also wanted to probably come back again and say something, but she had already put it in the chat box. Uh, Good. Thank you. And we'll continue the study next week and keep doing mananam of what we have learned. Even if it is for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you have learned something new you have learned that Atma is here right now. in all experiences is there. Some mananam, if you try to do, it will help slowly to understand the full depth. There is a huge illumination process which happens to all the intellects which are exposed to the teaching of Mandukya Upanishad. There comes a time when you will, your intellect will tell you, I am eternal. There is nothing more you require. When your own intellect says, I am Nityaha, then you don't need any other proof. And that happens to you when you continue the systematic study. Thank you and wish you a great day. Namaste.
Hari Om.
Hari
Hari Om.
Om.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om.
Namaste.
Hari Om.